Square up.
Well, no, don't clap.
I do that to start the show.
But the clap, all right, that's fine.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2, Bananas Unpeeled. Jared Orton, owner Jesse Cole. This is the show where we go behind the scenes in the minds of ourselves, which is like total inception of the Savannah Bananas. This is not a baseball show. This is not a statistics show. We're not talking about, batting averages and, walks and strikeouts, or are we? This is a show where we're going totally outside the box, totally crazy. You're going to look into the thought process of what we're doing. Episode 1 was amazing. Do you have any feedback for the people on episode 1?
Yes, episode 1 was the most downloaded episode in Bananas Unpeeled history. So it went bonkers. Thank you so much, everyone, tuning in, the podcast, the video. And we're just getting started, Jared.
We are. We're just getting started. Thanks to everybody watching on YouTube. Thanks to everyone who is listening on the podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, Johnny's Chicken and Waffles, who is giving out amazing discounts and amazing products. Johnny's Chicken and Waffles is our sponsor for this show. Let's go a little bit back to episode 1 for just a minute. Episode 1, if you missed it, or if you didn't listen to it, or if you did, it was just getting to know us. Where Jesse came from, where I came from. You heard stories about me falling off stages. You heard stories of Jesse, his crazy life as a 23-year-old starting the Gastonia Grizzlies. You heard all these things. Episode 2, we are going to take a different approach. Again, this is a behind-the-scenes show. It's what our thoughts are on baseball. We are answering the question today, what is wrong with baseball? Give people an insight of what episode 2 is going to be about and what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, we're going to the state of baseball, and I think we've seen so much, and I 12 years in the industry, but also both of us played baseball, played college baseball, and we saw it in 2 different ways. And, everyone is talking about baseball, but nothing's being done. And I think that is one of our big goals is we're trying to change the game of baseball. And what we've seen here in Savannah is going from nothing, literally selling 0 tickets our first few months, to, selling out every game based on this entertainment experience. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, there's a ton of work that needs to be done. And so we're going to start diving into some articles here. And really, if you Google, what's wrong with baseball or problems with baseball or baseball too slow. Like, I have 25 pages here. Bleacher Report, USA Today, Chicago Tribune, Sports Illustrated. And we can go into some of the statistics here. But like Jesse mentioned, everyone is noticing the problem, but there's this divide between what fans are seeing and their perspective, what the players are seeing, and then what the owners in Major League Baseball are seeing. And there's this great divide on what people want and what the revenues say and what the time of game says. So that's what we're going to dive into. And I know you have some of the statistics and ideas and things that people are saying, but nobody is doing anything about it.
Yeah, and I want to go back first because it's like we can go through all the stats and they prove a huge point, but I want to go back from what we have seen.
Yeah.
I think, literally we played baseball and I love playing the game. There's a whole different thing about playing the game. But I remember when I went and coached in the Cape Cod League, which is the best college summer league in the country, the top players, and I realized there's different about watching the game.
Yeah.
You watch the game, you realize how slow it actually is. Right. And so when we took over the Gastonia team back in 2007, I started realizing wow, it's slow and people actually don't like baseball. Yeah. That was the biggest thing that I had happen was I would go to meetings and people say, I don't like baseball. It's staggering how many people say they don't like baseball. And I ask why. And they say the same things over and over again. It's long, slow, and it's boring. And Jared, I think I've been said that I'm like the only owner of a baseball team that really has a problem with baseball. And I do. Because it's the same game. Yeah. Actually, no, it's arguably gotten worse.
Yes.
And it's getting longer. And, there's just so many things. So we can go into some of the facts. I mean, here's the reality. Major League games are over 3 hours. Yes. Average 3 hours and 5 minutes. What were the playoffs this past year?
Yeah, so this Sports Illustrated article, 3 hours and 35 minutes. And part of that is there's tons of commercials. Mm-hmm. There's 10 to 15 minutes extra of commercials just in the playoffs. Yes. Just for advertising. Mm-hmm. So 3 hours and 35 minutes for the length of the game.
It's staggering. And, there's a ball put in play every 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah. So if you're watching a game for 10 minutes, you're going to see 2 plays. And I think there was only 18 minutes of total action last year. And these are all from all the research done in Major League Baseball. But I think it's not just the research, it's what we see. And, we were so fortunate to sell out every game, I think, for the last 2 years. And you can't get tickets to these games. I mean, we have scalpers outside. We found out we're on StubHub the other day. I mean, it's crazy for college summer baseball. And we focus so much on the entertainment. I mean, breakdancing, first base coach, dancing, players, you name it. Yet, what happens at 9 o'clock?
Everyone leaves.
It's crazy.
I mean, we started taking pictures on our phones. Like at 9 o'clock, we'd go on the radio and say, everyone to the front gates. It's the mass exodus. People are leaving. And that's no fault to anyone that works here or entertainment.
Or the fans. We love you guys. We get
fault
it.
to anybody. I use the explanation. All right, our game started at 7 o'clock. Our gates open at 5:30, and there's thousands of people lining up at 5:30 and 6 o'clock to get into the gates. If you leave work, go home, get to your house at 5 o'clock, drive to the game, get here at 5:30. You're now here for an hour and a half before the game. Game starts at 7. By the time it's 9 o'clock, you've already committed to us 3 or 4 or 5 hours of your evening. Then you have to go home and go to work the next day. I don't blame you for leaving at 9 o'clock.
I would too. I do too.
Right.
I mean, when was the last time? And again, we're not trying to, this is probably tough because a lot of people are like, oh, I love baseball. Well, the reality is, I think you love having fun coming out to the ballpark. And again, not taking it away from the former teams here, but there's only 300, 400, 500 people coming to the games. They are a higher level of baseball than we are. They were minor leagues. We are college summer baseball. And so I think what we saw is that people are like, I just want to have fun. And that's what we started delivering. But there's only a certain amount of period of time that you can do that. I mean, I always say this, look at a movie. Movies now are under an hour and a half. When was the last time you left a movie that you enjoyed in the middle of the movie before it finished?
Yeah, I'll never forget you were having a conversation with Tyler Gray, who was our director of fun last year, and him and Will Swisher and some of these people that come from this entertainment background, they were offended. They're like offended that people are leaving. Like, you would never leave a Broadway show. You would never leave a movie. You wouldn't leave in the middle of this thing. You watch it till the end. But baseball as a sport is now struggling to keep these people. Number one, attendance is dramatically down.
Over 4% down last year.
Way down across minor league baseball and major league baseball. And there's some things that affected that. But this is not just a one-year thing. We are seeing trends from 2010, 2012, 2015, 2018 now, where things are either flat or declining dramatically. And it is a problem that cannot be ignored. And so that's what we're seeing here as the Bananas. And obviously, as a large scale, Major League Baseball is seeing it. But there's this balance of revenues are at an all-time high.
Over $10 billion last year, right?
2 years in a row, they've gone over $10 billion in revenue, all-time high. Ratings, TV ratings are still coming in very well. So the money is right there for the taking, but the fans are getting older and older and older and older. And the youth, the people that will be watching this in the next 10 to 20 years, they're not going to be around. What happens?
Well, I mean, again, going into the state of baseball, I mean, Little League participation is down dramatically. ESPN did a study, and they asked kids under 12 years old who were their favorite athletes. And in the top 30, there were 0 baseball players.
It's incredible.
And, I remember, Jared, when we played ball, I mean, I used to like Ken Griffey Jr. and Nomar Garcia Parra, and I used to be all into these guys. And now it's just they're disappearing because the kids aren't watching the game anymore. And I think it's because the game's too long. I think the showmanship, the celebration. We talk about this like football. You can say what you want about football. They have these crazy end zone celebrations, which the NFL got rid of for a year, and then they brought it back.
They did, and I want to get to that kind of mentality in a little bit. But here's a quote from a scout, and this is in a Bleacher Report article, and it's a long article. But one of these, the scouts said, "It's the most boring game I've ever been to, and it's every night." Says one scout who has been to the games for 50 years. You know exactly what's going to happen before it starts. The game is unbelievably bad right now, and that came from another scout.
A Major League scout.
Major League scout who's been seeing the game for 50 years saying it's unbelievably bad right now. And so what's interesting is now I think the changes that Major League Baseball and other entities are trying to make are they're trying to reprimand. They're trying to take the negative approach. Don't do this. We want more rules, more congestion, more regulation. We need to regulate this thing. We need to put the clamps down on it. This is organic change. The game has changed organically, but people are coming in and saying, well, if we add more rules, more stipulation, that'll just clamp it. That's just going to bog it down more. You need, if you want to reward people if you want the game to go shorter, you need to reward that. People are being rewarded for home runs and strikeouts right now. That's what people are being rewarded for. So what are they going to naturally gravitate to? Strikeouts and home runs.
Which slows the game down.
Why would you blame them?
Yeah.
So that naturally slows the game down.
Yep.
So Major League Baseball, if you want to change this structure, you need to start incentivizing and rewarding and celebrating the fact that games are shorter and there's more action and there's more intensity and more excitement in this play. And that's what the NFL did. They said, we're taking the rules off.
Yes.
We're going to allow guys to celebrate. There's no harm, no issue, no reason for us to put the clamps down on this player excitement and player celebration.
Yeah. And same thing with the NBA. And same thing with the NBA. You know, they're making it fun. And I think that's who we are, the route of this. And this show, I mean, you want to know what's in our mind? We're trying to make the game fun. We're trying to make baseball fun. And, you know, I think about the players, which the players are a huge part of what we do. Yep. And we set the tone with them. And, you know, I just want to go into a quick story about a guy, Bill Leroy, who was our catcher last year. And, you know, he came in and was excited to be a part of the team. And you could tell he had this flair, this kind of uniqueness about just, hey, I'm going to make it fun. Yeah. And I remember when we had the idea about the kilts.
Yep, I knew you were going here.
And I remember like, all right, we want to wear the kilts for our St. Patrick's Day night, but this is crazy. Yeah. And so we're like, we got to get our catcher on board. If our catcher's on board, we're good.
Catchers and kilts.
Catchers and kilts, which is a whole nother site. So we pulled him into the coach's office, and we had the coaches there, and we were like, hey, Leroy, what do you think about this kilt? And he looked at it and he said, can we wear this during a game? And I was like, yes, we are in. And he put it on. He squatted. He goes, this is awesome. I was like, all right, keep this a secret for a week until we announce it to the team. Yeah. But we had him wear it and come out to the whole team wearing it. Goes, let's do this. Right. And the team went nuts. Right. And that footage was so cool because the guys were like, you're playing in kilts in a game? Yeah. But they were like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be crazy. And when they did it, I remember like the first inning, there's a ground ball to shortstop and they throw to first base and Leroy's going to back up as the catcher. Right. And he sees me over there and he winks and pulls his kilt up at me. And I was like, this is awesome. And you know what? That's what it comes down to. You know, we do need to make the game faster and quicker. But it comes down to making the game fun and letting the players have fun. If a game is 3 hours too long, all right, every single night, those players, how do they have energy to have fun? It's the same thing over and over again. And I think that's why we're on a quest to make the game more fun and make the game faster and more exciting. Right. And that's what we're experimenting with right now. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of things that we can do. We've been testing things, trying things. But if you look at the state of baseball, the facts are out there. Yeah. There's problems and nothing's being done. To take the intentional walk and just say, all right, no longer do you have to throw those 4 pitches, or you take away some of the mound visits. It didn't make the game faster. Because here's the deal. They're putting too many pitchers in the game. Yeah. Batters are stepping out. I watched the playoffs this past year for a little bit because I couldn't watch a whole game. Right. All right. And Yasiel Puig in his bats was 35 to 40 seconds between pitches. Are you kidding me? Literally, and a bat is going 5 minutes where there's nothing happening. Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, it's just something has to be done. And that's why we are testing things, trying out things with the whole goal to make the game more fun, more exciting, so fans don't want to leave. Yeah. Well, I think one story that probably a lot of people don't know the origin of it was the dancing first base coach. And, you know, we talk about the dead time between pitches and between at-bats. And so, you know, the idea came up is, all right, between innings, when there's a break in action, we know what to do. We throw T-shirts, you know, bananas in the pants and blindfolded dance. We have all that stuff. But your challenge was, all right, could I take the showmanship and how could I literally do that between pitches? And that's where the dancing first base coach came from. So, I mean, give people a little the backstory of like how and where we got a dancing first base coach. Well, many people know I am a huge disciple of Bill Veeck. I've been following Bill Veeck. I thought you were going to say Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. I'm a huge. Yeah, I'm also. I'm a follower of Michael Jackson as well. Quick, Jesse's a disciple of Michael Jackson, Bill Veeck, P.T. Barnum, and Walt Disney. So you put all those people together, and that's where Jesse Cole comes from. Good luck, yes, just in a yellow tuxedo. But so following Bill Veeck, and he did so many things so far ahead of the game. I mean, he let fans manage a game, grandstand manager night. I mean, he did it. Obviously, Eddie Geidel, the midget. He tried numerous things. I mean, I love he gave 12 live lobsters to a fan in one game just to see what would happen. Yep. I mean, the guy tested it all. He was so far ahead of the game. Major League Baseball. In Major League Baseball games. Don't get that wrong. Major League Baseball did. Oh, and the other owners hated him. They hated him because he was trying to make the game more fun. He was about the fans. So I look up to him tremendous, and his son Mike Veeck still doing great things in St. Paul and some of their teams. But I think what I saw from him is he brought in Max Packin, who was the clown prince of baseball, who died a few years ago, but was a first base coach who just did crazy signs and was just, he put his hat backwards. He did like weird calisthenics. He didn't dance much, but he was just this character.
Right.
And that was a major league game. And so I started thinking, like, could we take it to another level? And dancing is a huge thing of what we do. People are like realize like part of our entertainment is dancing, and whatever's normal do the exact opposite. And the reality is, at a baseball game, players do not dance.
Yeah.
But our players, get trained how to dance every single game and dance and do from Britney Spears to Michael Jackson, you name it, they're on the field. And so I said, all right, how can we get some more dancing? Could we actually have that happen during the game?
Right.
So I brought the ideas of Max Pack, and I said, for 5 years, Jared, I had this image, like even back in Gastonia, I was like, we need a breakdancing first base coach. And we had auditions at SCAD, and people were auditioning to be our mascot. Yeah. And they were doing all these dances, and I was like, this guy's good. He could be our breakdancing base coach. So we had him as our mascot and our coach the first year, Darius Johnson, and shout out to Darius. And I'll never forget the first night it was 2017, opening night, and I practiced with Darius. Yeah. Because Darius knew nothing about baseball.
No idea. I was so scared that he was going to be drilled by a line drive. Like, he had no idea that, I should actually be looking out for the baseball. Yes. So scared in my mind.
Yeah. So he had no clue about baseball. So for 3 days, I'm practicing with him, and I'm like, Darius, just give signs. He goes, how do I give signs?
And the first base coach never gives signs.
Never gives signs, but I was trying to make it like he was a base coach. So he's trying all these signs and stuff, and I go, all right, then we'll play a song and you dance. He goes, how long do I have to dance? I go, 10 seconds max. It's between pitches. And so he's practicing. He has no clue what to do. And I remember I'm standing at the gate, and a lot of our staff is there because we're like, this is happening. Right. So he went out in the third inning, and all of a sudden, he starts just doing all these crazy signs to be a base coach, which already drew my attention because there's no reason a first base coach should be doing signals. Yeah. And then the first song came on, and I remember it was Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Of course, we had Michael Jackson. And he starts going full-fledged into it. The moonwalk, he's kicking, he's throwing his arm up, he's getting crazy. And I lose it. I am laughing so hard, and I look up into the crowd, and I see all these phones going up, and people just going nuts. You couldn't take your eye off it.
No.
Because no one's ever seen anything like this before. And all of a sudden, he danced that whole inning, and people gave him almost a standing ovation when he walked off the field. And I was like, we have something.
Yeah, and then after the game, he's sitting at the gate, and I swear he gets the most autographs and pictures.
Dude,
and
when we do the jersey auctions, we do the jersey auctions for our players, our guys who are potentially going to play pro ball, and the money goes to charity. They go $100, $200. Darius, who doesn't play, who coaches first for 2 innings, goes for $400-$500. He became a legend, and on CNN, and which is crazy. Why would he be on CNN?
He was the background of ESPN's Snapchat account for a whole day. It was insane.
He took off, and because again, he was having fun, and we finally found a way to interrupt the game a little bit. Yeah. But they're still playing, but everyone says it's huge home field advantage.
Oh, ridiculous.
The pitcher can't focus. There's a guy doing, Michael Jackson.
The first baseman is just totally confused. I think we scored more runs those 2 innings like the entire year.
Look at the stats, I mean, he was doing the hammer dance. He was doing single ladies. I mean, you name it. And he learned it. And then this past year in 2018, he started doing more interpretive dances.
Yes.
Like the Titanic love songs and Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles.
Standing ovations from people.
He started doing these like very emotional dances, and I know we are going to a tangent now, but it's on the whole premise of how can we make during the game
every second
more exciting, more fun. Because right now, if there's a ball being put in play every 3 minutes and 45 seconds, every 10 minutes you get to see 2 things.
Yes.
No wonder why people are bored.
One of these other quotes in this story was, if you go to the bathroom and you miss a ball in play, you might go 10 or 15 minutes without ever seeing a piece of action. That's insane. So that's kind of where these ideas are coming from, but we can't just keep introducing gimmicks. Yes. We know we can't just keep introducing gimmicks because we'll run out of ideas. We need the baseball sport, at some point to lower itself. And I have our Google review of the week, which is an amazing review from one of our fans. And this comes from Justin R. And Justin R. says, if you plan on going to watch a baseball game, this isn't for you. I don't understand how locals couldn't support an actual baseball team. And now we got dancing coaches, players selling out every single game. 3 hours into this game, we left in the 6th inning. A game shouldn't last but 2 or 2.5 hours. What a joke. Shout out to Justin R. Thank you for that wonderful 1-star review.
You know, it's funny. Yeah, it's a negative review, but we agree. Yeah. I'm right there with you. So thank you for that review. We are working on that every single day. And Jared, what I've compared us to is like we're like a hot dog stand. All right?
Go on. Go on.
We are like a hot dog stand. We are great at the condiments. I mean, the mustard, the relish, the ketchup, great condiments. For us, that is the show. That's the entertainment. That's the experience. But the hot dog still needs work. And the hot dog is baseball. And so we've got the condiments, but now we're working on the hot dog. We are serving a subpar hot dog right now.
Not in reality. I think our hot dogs are pretty good.
All beef hot dogs.
Yes. Oscar Mayer, not a sponsor. Shout out.
Yes. But it's reality. So why don't we focus on the hot dog? Because you throw that with all the dancing and the fun and 4,000 people singing off against each other. You could have the best product and the best experience for the fans. So that's what we're working on.
Yes. So here's what I want to shift to. We have been testing, and we're not going into the details, but we have personally witnessed, along with a few of our staff members, a 9-inning baseball game, relative to a 9-inning baseball game, in an hour and 39 minutes. We changed the rules.
Yes.
We changed some of the ideas. We changed some of the things that happened, and we witnessed what is compared to a 9-inning baseball game in an hour and 39 minutes. That is what can happen.
Yes.
But it might not happen yet. What I mean, do you want to expound on that and go into a little bit of that?
So, yes, this fall we had an actual teams playing this fast-paced, nonstop, crazy action game.
Yes.
And we talked to the players afterwards.
And the coaches.
And they said it was the most fun they've ever had playing baseball. And I remember my wife Emily sitting there, and she said she was on literally the edge of her seat the entire time watching a baseball. Jared, I don't remember the last time I was on the edge of my seat for any part of a game, let alone for an hour and 30 minutes.
No, I remember standing off to the side in the dugout, and there's this guy, the pitcher gets up there, lefty pitcher, and I'm telling you guys, we timed it. Every 6 seconds, he made a pitch. He threw the ball, got the ball back, got the sign. 6 seconds later, he delivered a pitch. He had 3 strikeouts, and when we're talking about strikeouts ruining the game, the whole place erupted. They loved the strikeouts at that point because it was like, this was the craziest. He just boom, 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 shut everyone down. 3 strikeouts, got off the field in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So I guess this is a big question here for anyone listening and watching, and really reach out to us on this. Would you be okay?
Yeah.
Or would you want an hour and a half baseball game? I mean, that's really what it is. That is half.
Yeah.
Half the time of what Major League is.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, that's not baseball. That's crazy.
It was still baseball.
It was. They still play baseball. But if they were to have an hour and a half game, what would you think? What would be your thoughts? Because for us, I was entertained. I was pumped. Yeah. I left. I felt great. And I wasn't tired. I wasn't like, we got to get out of here.
Right.
And it was exciting. So we want to get your feedback here because it is very a controversial subject.
It is wildly controversial. And so, the question is, would you be okay with an hour and a half baseball game? But to my point earlier, if people show up 30 minutes before the game or an hour before the game and they're hanging out with the players, they're getting food, they're seeing entertainment, they're seeing music, now you have a 2.5 hour, 3 hour experience.
Which again, I still think is long. You don't go to a movie for a 3 hour experience. It's still too long, but you still have that option. And we can celebrate, after our games, the people that come, I mean, we have the band playing when people are leaving, players sign autographs, s'mores. It's a party. You still have the party. I remember in 2017, Jared, we had a split doubleheader. You remember this? We had a super splash day, which is crazy. We turned the whole the ballpark into a water park. We have water slides, everything. It's just crazy, and we invite all the kids out. So it's tickets to all the daycares, the YMCA's. So 4,000 kids are in the stadium. All right.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, it's at noon. It's about 100 degrees, and they're playing. And then somehow, us being complete idiots, we decided to schedule that as a doubleheader.
Right.
So we play a day game with the kids and then have another night game starting at, I think it was 6:30 that evening. And so the game was crazy. It was hot. It was nuts. And then in between games, you were literally going around the stadium
cleaning the entire ballpark with a hand blower.
And imagine 4,000 kids. It was a mess. So we get it ready for 6:30. But then what happened? We had that game at 6:30. It was a 7-inning game. And we're not condoning 7 innings, 9 innings, 8 innings. I think there's another solution. Right. But what I'll say was a 7-inning game. And I remember it finished at like 8 o'clock, 8:05, and it was still sun out. It was light out.
And all the fans were there.
And all the fans say to the end, they were like, oh, it's over? And they all walked out, and we all celebrated. We had fun. I didn't get one complaint.
No.
One. And they were out. It was an hour and a half game. And I was like, wow. So again, we're not just doing this based on the stats, because the stats prove there's the problems. We've been watching it. Yeah. And over and over again, and I think something needs to be done.
So that's our top, and that's our question. That's comment, email us, text us, call. It's like, let us know what you think. Yeah. Would you be okay with a 2-hour game, hour 30 game, hour 45-minute game? Would you be okay with that? And that's what we're debating today. So
before we go into that, I think remember last episode you gave my cell phone and your office hours. I think
I'll give it again. Jesse's cell phone number is the following. I should memorize it by now. Yeah. I know it's area code 781. It is then 424-2499. Text him. Tell him you hate hour-and-a-half games. Tell him you love 5-hour baseball games. Or the opposite. 781-424-2499. And if you want to come by and see me and debate face-to-face, you can come on Tuesdays from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the office. I'll be there. We can debate anything that you want regarding baseball games.
I still think it's crazy. You give 1 hour on Tuesdays in the morning when most people probably couldn't come, but you give my cell phone to reach me at any time. But we are ready. We're going to be open, available to talk, because we're excited about this idea and these concepts and fixing and changing baseball.
And we want answers. Yes. If y'all have ideas, if you have better ideas, hey, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to see the game last 12 minutes. Like, let us know those ideas.
So what is
this? This is the mystery box time. Mystery box. Again, our staff does Idea Palooza once a month or so, and we bring up crazy ideas. We sit around, put ideas in a box, and this is what some of those ideas are. The first idea I have, the Bananas calendar.
Yes.
If you don't know who the Bananas are, if you've never been to a game or seen us on any of our videos,
Google.
The Bananas are a senior citizen dance team comprised of 5 or 6 ladies who are in full outfits. They are in custom jerseys, pants, headbands, like to the T.
Banana earrings.
They are the legendary dance troupe of the of the Savannah Bananas. But now you want a Savannah Bananas Banana Nana calendar.
Yes, 100%. I mean, now just know, they floss during games. They do all these crazy dances, and everyone knows the typical calendar. The Banana Nanas 2020 calendar. I can see it coming, Jared.
2020 calendar.
We're just in 2019. So it's too late. 2020 calendar. Them doing poses around the stadium and the community. I'm telling you right now, I think that would be a hit.
If you would buy a Banana Nanas calendar, please email or text us, and we will just send you one personally, because I don't believe the public would want one of those. This goes along the same lines of the Banana Nanas. A male cheerleading team called the Bananas.
This has been a dream for many years for me.
This seems like a nightmare for most people, children, other fans in the area. The Bananas cheerleading team.
So again, the dream of the breakdancing bass coach, the dream of the pep band. Eventually, they came a reality. I'm picturing men, short shirts, pom-poms, pumping up this team, all right, every night on the dugouts. Literally, I think it could be huge. I think they will be followed. I think they are going to get this team to have the best home field advantage in all of baseball.
If you would be interested in becoming a Banana, text Jesse.
I don't know what the audition would look like, but I'm telling you, actually, if you are willing to dance with pom-poms, some type of short shirt, uniform, we are all in. I think it will kill the Bananas.
Obviously, the requirements are, hairy chests and beards and the more grotesque.
Well, not grotesque, just proud of your body.
Proud of your body. This is something that actually, I think Bill Veeck might have done this back in the day.
Yes.
Fans coaching the game, like fans becoming the coaches, coaches becoming the fans. Maybe give the backstory of how Bill Veeck did this, and then could this happen in a real game as well for us?
See, I think we want to create it and make it our own, but Bill Veeck literally had grandstand managers night.
Yes.
Which all the fans in a grandstand had little boards that said yes or no.
Right.
There's a famous picture of it, and someone from the team would go up and say, should we bunt? Should we steal?
Yeah.
Should we hit and run? And based on the yeses and nos, they gave the sign to the manager.
In the Major League Baseball game.
It's unbelievable. And I think we could take that to a whole other level. Like, I could literally picture our coaches sitting in the stands, like lounged up, watching the game. And somehow the fans, could we have, 100 fans in the dugout? Could we have 20 fans on the third base coach? I don't know. But, again, we call ourselves fans first. Fans first entertainment. That is putting the fans first, because a lot of times, our coaches, luckily, we've had, fortunately, the best record in the league the last 3 years, won a championship. They haven't got, criticized that much. But sometimes they do.
Yes.
You guys do it. If you're going to criticize our coach, you go do it. You be our manager and see what happens. So, actually, fans, this is another one. If you are interested in being a coach,
making coaching decisions.
Making coaching decisions.
But with great ownership comes great responsibility.
By the way, I bet Tyler Gillum and our coaching staff is watching right now and said, I hate you guys. You're taking away my job. But Tyler, just maybe. We'll see what happens. I don't even know if the Coastal Plain League allow that.
No.
Probably not. But let's see.
I think just, all this craziness is a testament to, we had Sean West for 2 years, won the championship. Now we have Tyler Gillum coming back for year 2. Yes. It is a true testament for these guys coming in and saying, I am willing to do this. I'm willing to be a part of this. I'm going to be the leader on this thing. I'm going to have our players buying into this because, again, we have one of the best home records. We've won the championship. We go to the semifinals last year. The proof is there. Last one. This is disgusting. I don't see how this would ever work. A banana bread burger. No. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. Nobody would eat a banana bread burger.
You're probably right. But it goes back to our history. We've done donut burgers, donut dogs, waffle burgers. Shout out to Johnny's
Chicken and Waffles.
We did waffle burgers. We've done, literally we had a pizza burger. We've done taco dogs. We've tried it all. And the garbage can nachos are a hit here. We sell tons of them every night. It's 3,200 calories on a garbage can. So I do think we need to get some of our banana theme in here. Banana bread. Good banana bread with a burger in the middle. Sounds disgusting, but someone may like it.
Sweet and savory. That's what it's all about. However, people do love our frozen bananas, and they love our
slippery banana,
and they love our bananas Dippin' Dots, and that's it. Anything else you want to share with people today?
No, I think it's so fun to be able to talk about this behind the scenes because people don't know what's going on through our heads, and we are thinking about this constantly. How do we make the game better? How do we make the experience better? And I think it's so important for people to know these facts. It's crazy what's happening out there in baseball, and like I said, we're just getting started.
That's it. That's it for the show today, folks. Again, the question of the day is, would you be okay within a minute or with an hour and 45-minute baseball game?
Hour and a half.
Hour 30-minute baseball game. Would you be okay with that? How could we get to that? Would it be exciting? Would you still, be fired up about this baseball game? Mm-hmm. We think it's the answer to baseball's problems. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Bananas Unpeeled, episode 2. It's a wrap.